welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. Ooh, child. When I tell you that the game last night had me in a knot, I am not hardly lying. As you know, I wasn't able to go live last night. And so when I became available, which was late Friday night, I stayed off of everything so I would not know the end of the game. But man, watching that game, let me tell you something. Before I started doing live streams of games last season, and this was during the course of the season, I never thought I could do it. And one reason is because when my team is playing, I am so completely dialed in. So the idea of talking to people, of answering questions, all of the things that are required when you're doing a live stream was just like, there is no way I can do that because I just get so focused. Now, I've learned how to temper that and do all those things and enjoy it. But I didn't think I could do it because of the focus, because of how intense I get. Well, I'm trying to figure out what I might have looked like last night if I was going live, because I don't know if there has been a game, and I might just not remember, but I don't know if there has been an Indiana Fever game that had my stomach tied up in knots like last night. Just talking about it, I can feel it. I don't know if there has been an Indiana Fever game during which I yelled as much. I mean, I felt like I was going to blow a gasket. So I guess it was good that I wasn't live, or maybe just everybody in the live stream would have kept me a little bit more chill, but I wasn't chill. I recognized, as you did, I'm sure, how important this game was against the Los Angeles Sparks, a team, the Fever, had not been able to beat in 3 tries. And you look at their record and you go, why? But a lot of it comes down to matchups. And then when you start to lose, you lose one, then you lose a second, then you start to question yourself, can we really beat this team? So many things come into play. When you look at the Sparks, De'Erica Hamby is an absolute beast. Azure Stevens, oh my goodness. So it can be a tough matchup, but I'm like screaming because I'm like, how many layups are we going to miss? How many bunnies are we going to miss in this game? And I was just like, we should be winning this game. And when I looked at the score at different times, and I'm like, we're down in this game. And when I think about all the bunnies missed, I'm like, we should be up. At one point, I'm like, we should be up by 10. Another time, I'm like, maybe we should be up by 15. There's no way we should be trailing in this game. And even the announcers were saying that. Mary Murphy in particular was like, I can't believe that with this, the turnovers from the Sparks and this and this and this, that the Sparks in the lead. I was so through, on the edge of my seat, stomach hurting. I'm screaming. My cat's looking at me like, the other cat's nowhere to be seen. But I can breathe now because the team ended up pulling it off. And when it came down to the stretch, it got a little bit weird, didn't it? Officials and timekeepers. We'll talk about that. With the win against the Sparks, the Fever has now surpassed last season. Last season, the team had 40 games, went 20-20, 500, and reached the goal, which was to make the playoffs. This season, this team, down multiple players, has a better record and more games to go. 21 wins, but still has not solidified a place in the playoffs. That's how different things are this season and how tight this race is. But kudos to the team, to these players who have shown incredible resiliency, to this coaching staff who has managed to keep this team motivated in spite of all the adversity. Kudos for going a step higher with more opportunities to climb yet before them. Odyssey Sims came up really huge in this game. Really, really, really huge, scoring the last 5 points, and we'll take a look at those. But what a strange turn of events at the end. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, what is going on here at the end of this game? We're going to take a look at the box score. And before it's over, we'll take a look at those last 5 points from Odyssey Sims. We'll take a look at Lexie Hall getting a first in this game. Lexie Hall with the 2 black eyes getting a first in this game. And we'll just bring it all together. All right, let's go to ESPN.com. The score, 76 Indiana, 75 Sparks. So yes, I was on the edge of my seat and screaming my head off. The Sparks won the first quarter, 31-24. The Fever won the second quarter, 20-16. The Fever once again won the third quarter, although these are not numbers to write home about, but still 13-11. And then the fourth quarter, Indiana 19-17 for the 1-point win. Natasha Howard just had 5 points in the game, and I yelled at her quite a bit from my couch, but she also contributed in other ways. 7 rebounds, 4 of them offensive rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals in the game. Aaliyah Boston leading the way for her team with 22 points. She also had 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 steals, and a block. Odyssey Sims right behind Aaliyah Boston with 21 points. And of course, 5 of them huge at the end of the game. She also has 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. And keep in mind, the Sparks let her go, waived her. So although when she was being interviewed, you could tell that people were trying to kind of bait her. How does this feel, seeing as you played for this team and all that? She didn't take the bait. She just kept it classy, of course, and said, I'm just glad that we won this game. And it was a team effort, a collective effort. Then we got 12 points from Kelsey Mitchell. Not a good shooting night for Mitchell at all, but she did also have 2 rebounds and 3 assists in the game. And Lexie Hall with 5 points. And she had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, because she does so much for this team beyond scoring. She also got her first technical of her career. And that was kind of strange too, but we'll look at that. And then off the bench, Brianna Turner, she came in with 2 points. She had 3 rebounds, 1 assist. She's been doing really good for us in terms of her defense, which is, of course, why she was brought in to this team. Ariel Powers had 9 points, and she had 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal in the game. Indiana had 40 rebounds in this game. 15 of them were offensive rebounds. That is wild. We've been yelling, box out, rebound, crash the boards. And they obviously did that on defense because they had 25 defensive rebounds, but they also got in there and got offensive rebounds, 15 of them to be exact. Very, very good. As far as the Sparks, Adrienne Stevens, I'm impressed with Adrienne Stevens for real. She went 6 for 9, 3 for 5 from 3. She had 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 17 points. And Jerica Hamby, she had 11 points, but she's just a fighter. She's just tough. She doesn't back down from anybody. She has 7 rebounds in this game, as well as 2 assists. She also has 6 turnovers in the game. Lots of turnovers from the Sparks. 12 from Kelsey Plum. She had a very quiet game, it seemed. And 12 points from Ray Burrell, who came in and made me nervous and had me screaming. Also, this was not a pretty game. In fact, it was an ugly game. But at the end of the day, what matters is that you get the win. And as I've said a million times, I will take an ugly win over a pretty loss any day. The bottom line with this team is that every person finds a way to fight, finds a way to compete, And ultimately, the team gets the win. And it's not easy when you consider what is going on with the team. Caitlin out, Ariel out, Sid out, Sophie out, other players coming and going. Bibby has been out. There's been so much. And from what I understand, Ariel Powers has signed another 7-day contract. And speaking of those hardship contracts, my goodness, Odyssey Sims went into the Sparks territory and showed them what they're missing. Let's look at the 5 final points she contributed to this team, enabling a win for the Fever. With less than a minute to go in the game, Odyssey Sims comes up big to tie the game with a huge 3-pointer. Underdog WNBA on X.
She's got 9. The lead back up to 3. Sims left open for 3. She got it. Odyssey Sims with the triple to tie this one up at.
That is a big time shot. A big time shot from Odyssey. But Kelsey Mitchell should get an assist for this. And I'll tell you what I mean. She commands so much attention that it opens up for other people. Aaliyah Boston has the ball, hands off to Kelsey Mitchell, and Kelsey Mitchell has to be respected. So you've got Alamon and Plum coming at Kelsey, and Kelsey smartly gives it up, trusts her teammate, gives it up to Odyssey, and as we saw,
Sims left open for 3. She got it. Odyssey Sims with the triple to tie this one up at 7.
So we'll pick up on the Indiana Fever's X account. Score is 74 Indiana, 75 Sparks, and Odyssey Sims strikes again. Lexie on the perimeter drives the ball to the right, goes right into the paint and kicks it out because all the defense is trying to close in on her. She kicks it out. Odyssey's already moving. There she is. As soon as she gets it, she's moving. 2 hard dribbles to the basket, and then the floater is good. And Indiana never looked back. Actually, Indiana almost had to look back because some timekeeping stuff and officiating kind of had us scratching our heads and wondering what is going on. So we're going to go over to X to an account called Miley or Billy. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but let's go there. Keep your eyes on the game clock. 0.4. That's all that's left in the entire game. Indiana up 1. Kelsey was shooting 2. She already took the first shot. Here she is on the second. Now, the strategy here is to miss the second, because if she misses the second free throw, she's going to try to hit it off the rim. She hits it off the rim, then, like I said, less than a second. So when that hits the rim, that's when the clock is supposed to start. And then by the time that thing bounces off the rim, this time right here expires and you walk away with the win. But timekeeper, what happened? Because I want you to pay attention. When that ball hits the rim, you're not going to see this move, this 0.4 move. And you're going to see Dearica Hamby. She's going to get up, get the rebound, come down with the rebound, and still this clock is stuck. Take a look. Still hasn't moved. Dearica Hamby has it. Still hasn't moved. And she comes down with it. It's still at 0.4. And it shouldn't be. This should be over. And Indiana thought it was over. It was not. And then Kelsey Plum is allowed to take the timeout here, giving her team one last opportunity to win the game. Absolutely something I would call, bogus. In any case, we do get the stop on the other end. And we walk away with a win. But we also walk away saying, what was that all about? That's just one example of some of the end game weirdness. But there was also some in-game weirdness. Lexie Hull's first. Lexie Hull gets the first technical of her career, and we're going to take a look at what happened. Someone captured this on Reddit, so I'm going to turn the sound off here. So Kelsey Mitchell has the ball right here. Kelsey Plum is guarding her. Aaliyah Boston is coming to set the screen, but watch how Kelsey Plum grabs onto Kelsey Mitchell. So you see that? She grabs her as she comes. But of course, Kelsey, as we've been saying and others have been saying, Kelsey is not respected. She doesn't get a whistle. And here again, there she is. She grabs her as she's trying to come off that screen. So she comes back around again. And then what does she do? She's upset. So she looks like she's ready to go over and talk to the official right here, right? Because how are you getting grabbed like that and you don't get a whistle? Seems like Kelsey Plum gets away with some stuff. So she's like, what? So she looks over there at the official. You see Stephanie White over there. Her arms are out like, what? Lexie Hull, she jumps up, right? And you know, Lexie, she's just about as calm as they can be. She jumps up and there's an official over here. She jumps and she's yelling at the official. So Kelsey just like, let me just let it go. And then she splits defense, goes in and gets her 2 points. And Lexie Hull is talking. Let me turn this on again. You can't hear what she's saying, but Caitlin's up, Lexie's up. Soon as Mitchell scores those points, the official tees up. And Mitchell is ticked off because she knows she was fouled, and she's like, you can kind of read her.
And we're going to get a technical foul here against Indiana.
She's fed up with not getting the whistle. And she's not the only one. Lexie Hull is fed up as well, jumps right up.
Yeah, school did just start. Mitchell, meanwhile,
and Caitlin. And I got to go, really? Now, granted, I don't know what Lexie said, but really? She jumps up and probably says, blow the whistle, and she gets teed up. Just unbelievable. But anyway, congratulations, Lexie Hull, for getting your first technical. I still remember my first and only technical as a coach. Anyway, Indiana with the win, in spite of it being an ugly game, in spite of some bogus technical, in spite of some end game, what appears to be shenanigans, they were able to get the job done. Great team effort. And also, yes, shout out to Odyssey Sims because she went back to old territory and took care of business. And congratulations, Indiana, for surpassing last season. Continue that push for the playoffs. I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.